To start off the speedrun, I decided to queue UHC deathmatch because it has the lowest winning chance with a 1 out of 8 odds, so I decided to queue this one first just to get it out of the way. I immediately target this person building straight up and kill him before he starts camping. Fortunately, I do get to keep some of his healing, which will make up for the one head I was given at the start. I then try to attack this other camper in a tree, but apparently he's already hiding from someone else, so I just decided to turn on the other guy that's behind me. I knock him in the pond below, and I try to make sure he stays in there just so I can drain his healing. I'd normally just keep shooting him, but then I'd randomly go into melee combat whenever he got really close to land just to make sure he didn't get out. I was having a hard time containing him, and I actually almost died because I didn't scroll wheel to my head properly. I eventually decided to fall back, just so I could use my gapples instead, since I had more of those. After I finally get the kill and loot him, I get attacked by a low level E-girl, so I quickly dispose of her. I finally had one person left, but because he had no healing, he basically just kept running away and bow spamming me the entire time, and he ended up wasting 2 to 3 minutes of my time before I finally got the win. My next duel is UHC 1v1, and as soon as it starts, my opponent asks to show me something, and I kinda just shook my head vigorously at him, hoping that he got the memo that I wasn't interested. He does end up bow spamming, which is really annoying because I just had to deal with it, but it wasn't as bad, and I did get to kill him way quicker than I did on that other guy. I go into Skywars Duels at 7.5 minutes, and I originally thought that I would have a hard time beating this guy because he's a higher level, so I kind of panicked and just copied what he did and looted a chest that had nothing good in it, and then after that he dropped on me and I kind of just knocked him into a hole that also had another hole, and then I just won. I go into a MegaWall Duels game with 8 minutes and 15 seconds, and we're both using Herobrine kit, which is the default kit, but he starts getting more hits on me, but luckily he doesn't know how to use the lightning ability, so I used that knowledge to eventually win. I then go into Sumo and yeet a random speed stand. I go into my second OP duel match trading with the other guy, but he gets more hits than me, so I drop my regen and try to light him up, which I miss, but I actually throw him into it anyways, and that's what gets me the kill. I go into my second bridge fight at around 13:27, and the reason why it was my second was because I didn't want to deal with a semi-sweaty bridge player on Sunstone, so I just kinda left. And I also low-key forgot how to play because all of my games previously, most of them had to deal with rod PvP, so I had to get used to bridge again. And then later on I changed my packs back to my bridge overlay and my sky pack. I then proceeded to put very minimum effort into winning the game by only using a few blocks to block up bypasses. I'd only PvP when it was necessary, and normally I just tap them once and erase it to win, which is a really old strategy that people used back in 2018. I go into bow duels kinda nervous because I almost always queue someone who sweats this game, but thankfully I do get enough hits to kill my opponent and I leave pretty unscathed. I go into my second classic duel at around 17:05, and I was fighting someone who probably tried queuing bow duels but misclicked. I don't think he understood the concept of sword PvP, but hey, free win. I go into my second NoDebuff duel at around 19:35, and we're trading most of our hits, but I like being more aggressive and decided not to bail out first, so he'd drop his pots before me, and most of the time that meant that he would heal me too, which also means that I wouldn't have to heal myself that often and I'd be ahead of him on pots. I then went into my second combo duel and queued someone who was just AFK, so I just quickly took care of that and moved on. In BowSpleef, I was just hoping that he didn't run the entire time, and since he didn't, I strafed my way up to him so I could repulsor and triple shot combo him. I've now completed every 1v1 base game mode and needed to win 2v2 games quickly, and no one else would be more qualified to help me out with that job than Lightning McQueen himself. We spent most of this duel just chasing down our low levels until we killed them. As soon as we go into 2v2 Skywars, I drop some fire resistance on my teammate and I rush a mid chest and got some speed. I then proceeded to rush their island and I fought and killed one of the opponents with 2 hearts to spare. I then got the other kill stolen from me by a drive-by. After a few minutes of queuing, we go into a 2v2 OP duels game, and my teammate throws down some speed potions for both of us to use. We then proceed to attack our separate opponents. He quickly kills his guy and helps me chase my guy down for the win. In our 2v2 bridge game, we queued Tundra, and since my teammate is obviously faster than me, I decided to casually hippo and defend while my teammate got goals. I'd later on go on the offense with him just to make things go faster. But I obviously couldn't beat the fastest car ever. In Bridge 2v2v2v2, we queue Lighthouse, which is a pretty good map to speedrun since, you can just jump over to the other side. So I decided to do the old rush to the left side twice and they'll never see it coming maneuver, and I knocked that team out pretty quickly. We then both decided to rush green, and I kind of fall for a second, but then I just recover and watch this guy fall into his own goal, and then I knocked him out. And then we both rush red, and we just, quickly knocked them out too. I spent like 10 minutes trying to queue a MegaWalls 2v2 game, and I tried doing the old, hey, Dream and Techno are queuing MegaWalls 2v2, you should go snipe the maneuver, but I already did that like so many times that like no one believes me. So I had to go into a Bedwars lobby, which I originally thought wasn't gonna work because I don't have that flashy of a title to get people's attentions with, but we did end up getting the game to queue. My teammate was Hunter Kit and I was Herobrine Kit again, and we both basically just went in and then we traded opponents and then we traded back and then we just killed the last guy. We finally made to the point where we get to queue the only 3 team based game, which is 3v3v3 bridge, and I score 1 goal, and then after that I just kept doing the danker, and later on I just kind of like meat shield for my teammates so they can get a goal. We then did one of the 2 4v4 base game modes, and this one was 4v4 bridge, and since we had someone on a really high win streak and we didn't want to queue anyone super sweaty, we waited a couple minutes for the game to start just to make sure you didn't lose it. I was basically one of the 3 offenses the entire time, but since a casual tryhard is really good at scoring, I didn't really get any goals until the very last one. We spent 5 minutes queuing the last game in the speedrun, which is UHC 44, and we started just after 59 minutes. And we spent most of the game either in mosh pits or randomly chasing the closest person to us. And since they were running around a lot, we do actually miss the sub-hour mark, which is quite unfortunate. But since I'm the first person to attempt a speedrun of all Hypixel duel modes, I do technically get world record, so I'll take it. We finally finished the last game off with 1 hour and 23 seconds. Anyways, if there's anything else you'd like for me to speedrun, just let me know. Peace.